Okay, let us try this again. All right. Hello, everyone. In the next few minutes, I will be offloading some information to you about a dangerous disease that can affect any vehicle you drive or any metal that you come in contact with. I will explain to you how to prevent and treat rust. Rust is commonly called cancer in the car community because it is kind of like a cancer. If you don't get rid of all of it, it'll come back. If you get rid of all of it, sometimes it does kind of still come back. It usually only happens to older vehicles, but any vehicle is susceptible to this. Rust affects metal, and most cars are made of metal. Um, so what happens is the rust will encounter water or air over time, and that will cause a reaction, and that will actually degrade the metal. So these right here used to be shiny, used to look great. This is what happens when you leave metal in water. It starts getting brownish in color, and if you leave it there too long, it would actually start, like if you dipped it in acid, it would start withering away, holes and stuff. So when that comes to a car, most of your structural components are metal, what actually holds the car together. So if that starts happening to your car, that can become very dangerous. So how do we stop that? So the first step would be just to take care of the vehicle, keep it washed, keep it cleaned, try to keep it away from gravel roads. You know, the gravel can nick up the paint, expose the bare metal, rust can happen. Don't drive it in a flood. That would help. Water is what normally starts it. You could also, if you want to put the money into the vehicle, you could go and get it undercoated at a professional shop. There's different kinds of undercoating, but basically what they do, they will take the car into the air and they will apply this chemical to the car underneath it. It will be like the paint, but it's an extra layer. Usually it can be asphalt based. It can be made out of the same stuff the road is. There's also wax based undercoating. There's polyurethane, which is like a plastic. There's rubber undercoating. You do have to be careful with that stuff because if you're in a high impact environment, the water and the air could still get under that to your metal. And then that would almost act like a bowl holding the water in. So it could actually become a bad thing if you don't properly care for the vehicle. But that is one really good option to help stop the rust or to help keep the rust away. If you can't stop it, if you have rust, uh, proactive is too late. Now you have to treat it or repair it. So there's this stuff called rust conversion, rust encapsulator. That stuff is for very light rust, like surface rust, the stuff that just the metal looks brown, but it's not pitted, it's not holy yet. That stuff you will roll on like paint, and scientifically, it will convert the rust, the oxidation, the corrosion, whatever, into black primer-like, paint-like substance, and you can then paint over it, and car will look good as new. You didn't have to replace any body panels or anything. It's all good. Um, Sometimes when the rust is too bad or has been left unchecked, there will be a hole in the metal, and then you'll need a patch panel or a whole new door skin or something like that. You'll actually have to take the rusted metal off and weld in new metal or replace the whole part. And so that can become very costly. It can be a very in-depth repair. A lot of people will opt just to replace the vehicle at that point, but it's definitely something that can be done. Um, so something that unfortunately happens a lot in the classic car community is people will try to put filler, fiberglass filler or Bondo into the rust holes. And you know, putty is not as strong as metal, so that's really a no-no. But it's like a cheap way because you paint over the metal and you paint over everything. And from the outside looking in, it could look like a great car. And then, you know, turns out it's being held together with putty and rust. So that's never a good thing. So be wary of that if you ever go to buy an old car, because those are the ones that are most affected by the rust. So, in conclusion, I have explained a little bit about rust, how it happens, prevention and treatment, and repair. Hopefully, you are now more informed on the issue, and you may even be able to identify it. If you have a car, or if you consider buying a car that is affected by this issue, think about it, maybe even get a professional opinion on how they would approach the situation. Um, a rusty vehicle can pose a risk. So hope everybody is safe out there. Hope you guys enjoyed all this. Thank you for being here.